Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're gonna go over a push day from the other day. Just go through like one by one, talk about the lift. So we're starting out with some cable chest flies. These are just really to pump blood into the muscle, get a good stretch. So they really serve as twofold. Stretch out the pecs. So you see, I get like a deep stretch on every one. I really focus on actually expanding my chest. And then on the contraction, really trying to squeeze my chest, trying to pump as much blood as I can in there. Pretty simple, just a way of warming up. Did about like 3 or 4 sets of these before getting started on my main lifts. None of these are to failure. They're just meant to, get myself ready and prime the chest so that we can hit it really hard on the main lifts. So then moving on to, and watch me right here, I skill a handshake where I go in for the fist bump, but totally skill midway through. But yeah, anyway, we're just warming up here, pushing more blood into the muscles, getting warmed up basically. These are not working sets, so I'm really just focusing on, really with these warm-up sets, it's just, you're building up in weight, but also you're kind of, situating yourself at the station, making sure that everything feels good, the seat height and everything like that. And, getting a feel for the movement, getting your brain, your neural connections all, in order for that. For when you move into the main lifts, you really want to be, you really want to be completely ready, locked in, no changes, not moving your feet around or anything like that, like completely locked in. Just gonna do another warm-up set here, and what I'm focusing on is keeping my chest really high. Kind of pinching your shoulder blades back together is one cue I've heard, but if you just think chest high and pushing all the way through. So as I'm moving into my bulk, as I move further into my bulk rather, I'm really tasked now with, my coach has told me, my main goal, or one of my main goals is to, get stronger. And that means working in those lower rep ranges, heavier weight. So here, this is my main compound for my chest, and I'm pushing more weight than I'm used to. So coming off of the competition, I went super kind of light for a while, and then I worked my way up slowly, and I'm nowhere near as strong as I used to be, but now is kind of the time where it's time to hit these heavier lifts and build back that strength up again. That's a big part of the bulking process. You want to take advantage of the more food and stuff, and that is one of the main goals. You can see I'm really keeping my chest really high, and you can see that I'm targeting my chest. A lot of times, sometimes people, their shoulders are the more dominant, and you can see that my shoulders are back. My chest is really the main muscle being worked here. You can see that in the way that, I kept my chest really high, and there's a lot of tension in it. So those are my working sets for the compound movement. Moving on to incline chest press, a little bit lighter, kind of just working my way up, getting in that like 10 to 12 rep range. My chest was really cooked after this, so I went kind of light. I built up a bit more. I think I built up to 2.5 plates for my final working set in that like 10 to 12 rep range. Really focusing on technique here, making sure that, my upper chest is being targeted. And this could be a challenging thing for a lot of people. I think that it really does require a level of focus and technique to hit your upper chest, even on like an incline. Like, it's not just enough that you're hitting an incline. You kind of have to have a certain level of like focus to do it appropriately, and you have to kind of target mentally, that whole mind-muscle connection thing. That's a big part of this. So yeah, I hit about 2 to 3. Actually, I think this was my 3rd set total for these, and definitely going to failure here, but very controlled, especially on the eccentrics. You see I hit failure, and I try to move it again, doesn't move. Next up, the Gym Leco chest fly. This is a new machine at my gym. It really feels good, especially if you position it so that it hits your upper chest. So if you're like a little further down on the machine, performing these really feels like I get really good contractions. There's a lot of fly machines and cable flies and stuff like that, typical pec deck machines. They're all great, but for some reason this really connects for me. So you see I positioned the seat a little bit higher on this one, and this is where I really get that good connection, especially like, I think I felt it in my upper chest, but it might have just been an overall better chest squeeze there. I keep my elbows bent kind of slightly more than the average person would. For me, the amount of bend, it really comes down to feel. Some people get a better connection with less bend. Some people get more bend. For me, this definitely works. I was definitely feeling it in my chest here, especially keeping my chest super high and all those cues. Next up is bodyweight dips. This was my third or fourth set here, and I perform these like John Meadows with the feet out in front. I feel like I get more chest when I do these, and also you can kind of auto-regulate the tension in your chest by how you position your feet out in front of you. I mean, straight up and down can work, but if you kind of put them slightly out in front of you, it just feels like you get a better chest press. I mean, you can see my chest is definitely feeling it, going nice and slow on the eccentrics, very consistent, and then failure on that last one. That was a really good rep. The typical lateral raise machine I would normally use was taken, but this is definitely a good replacement. Prime makes this one. You can adjust the tension profile so you can make it so that it's more tension at the bottom of the range of motion. I typically put it like with a little tension in the middle, but most of the tension at the, half the tension in the middle, half the tension at the very bottom of the range of motion. These are really good. It was definitely a serious burn here. Going for like medium to high reps, like 10 to 15. Moving on to the rear delt section of push day. Sometimes people do these on pull day because you can kind of categorize them as like a pull movement. But if we're hitting the shoulders, I'll put them on push day. But yeah, going heavy here, trying to get like that 15 to 20 rep range. Yeah, these are really good. I haven't done these in a long time. These were another one of these. I'm not sure if it was John Meadows, but back when I was obsessed with John Meadows, like many years ago, I was doing these a lot, and I really liked them. So I have a really good like mental connection with these. You can see I'm speeding up a bit. Definitely, I think I went a little too heavy. So my tempo was speeding up, not perfect, but definitely a seriously solid burn in my rear delts. And that's basically it. After that, I hit a couple tricep movements. I did some V-bar pushdowns, and I believe overhead machine extensions. I didn't get them on tape, but those were really solid. So I always finish off my push days with some triceps. I'll try to get like 6 to 8 solid sets of triceps to wrap things up. And that's basically it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to post more of these in the future.